Okay, good evening, everyone. It's Adrian Hibbert speaking here, based in Cardiff, in South Wales, in the UK. Just firing up this weekly webinar, 9 o'clock p.m. every Thursday night, every week. I think that's 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time with my friend, colleague, business partner, Patrick Moore, who's on the call with me tonight. So, yeah, what we're going to do, guys, just go through this. I'm going to keep this Hangout webinar consistent every Thursday. As I said, 9 o'clock UK time. And then we'll keep trying to build the numbers up. I know there's a few people probably coming on late tonight. But yeah, well, by all means, guys, bring people along every Thursday. Try and keep this consistent, make people aware of what we're doing. And obviously, we want to get the word out about what's going on, within the cryptocurrency industry. And more important, Capricoin, the product itself, what we're going to be talking about tonight. So just to put you in the picture, the people that don't know me, I'm Adrian. I'm based in South Wales, in Cardiff, in the UK. I'm a property investor. I have been for the last 20 years, more or less since I left school. I actually own 38 properties, and I was on a mission between 1999 and 2007 to acquire as many properties as I could. And back then, it was very easy to acquire properties. You could get them quite cheap. And you could borrow as much money as you wanted at the time, before obviously the credit crunch kicked in. So, yeah, I took the action, and I ended up with 38 properties, and I've been living off my properties, the income off those, and the capital growth over the last sort of 10, 15 years. I've been lucky to do that, So, but since I come on the internet, I've been on the internet since 2008. Went to Spain to live for 2 years, from 2008 to 2010. Took a 2-year holiday. Started to get into the internet, looking for ways of making money online as a hobby. Obviously came across a lot of get-rich-quick schemes, got involved with a lot of things, lost money, started to make a lot of money. And now yeah, I'm still here, a few years later. And starting to rebrand myself now within the cryptocurrency niche. That's my plan. And hopefully become an expert at some time within this niche product. So, but I'm going to bring my colleague on, Patrick Moore, who's based out in the US. He's been in this business a lot longer than me, since March last year, since right at the start, more or less. And he's got the expertise on this more than me as we speak. And hopefully every other week we'll be bringing on some other guests who also have a lot more expertise in this niche. So I'm going to bring Patrick straight on. He's going to go through a presentation around about 30 minutes. And then we'll have probably a bit of a Q&A. So start typing your questions into the chat so I can write them down. And then we can go through that Q&A and answer anyone's questions. And we hope to finish within an hour, probably an hour, 15 minutes maximum, because as people start to get a bit tired up once the hour sort of turns up. So we'll try and keep it on the hour if we can. Okay then, Patrick, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great. So over to you, Patrick, and fire up your screen, and it's all down to you for the next half an hour. Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, absolutely. Thanks for having me here again. Hope you guys are doing well here today. Today is Thursday. It's 1 o'clock over here. I'm out near Seattle, Washington. And like Adrian said, I've been involved with this company now right about a year. We launched in March of last year. And it's been quite an interesting journey over the last year. A lot of things have developed. Everything that the company said was going to happen has happened, and that's always a nice breath of fresh air when you are working in a home business and they tell you things and those things happen. So I've been involved in the industry since I was 18 years old. I went full-time at 24. I'm 33 now. I've not had a job in about a decade now. And so I see a lot of opportunities, and I've made my money in traditional network marketing businesses. But when this came across my desk, when I was invited to come out here and kind of be the North American rep for this company, I knew I could not pass this opportunity up. So I've been heavily engaged. I've dropped everything I'm doing to focus on this because I see this as the biggest project that I will ever work on. And I believe it will have the biggest impact, not just in the network marketing arena, but globally, financially, economically. What we're going to introduce here today has never been done before in this capacity. And I'm going to try to keep it simple. If this is your first time here, your first time being exposed to this industry as a whole, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible, because you're probably not going to be able to grasp the big picture here by the end of this webinar, especially if I'm trying to keep it here under an hour. There's absolutely no way I can cover everything. So what I want to do here is I want to share a presentation. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're talking about here today is a company called Vizionary. We're a global company, and we have an innovative product technology solution that the world needs. We all join network marketing companies for a reason, right? There's a product you guys sell because there's a need for that product. Maybe it's a health product. Maybe it's a diet product. Maybe it's some other kind of product that somebody needs. Maybe it's a website development tool, and that's what you sell. That's your business. Well, what we're looking at here as far as the problem that we're solving is a financial problem. And what I want you guys to think about here throughout this webinar, kind of the underlying theme, is disruptive technology. And I'm going to point out several examples of how technology has disrupted billion-dollar industries that you and I and our parents and grandparents grew up knowing. And these businesses are worldwide, and they spent 50 plus years to establish their presence. And overnight, technology is disrupting these businesses and overtaking them and becoming more profitable. So a revolution is happening. Like I said, it's driven by technology. It's affecting us all. Let me try to get rid of this thing here. Today, we're going to show you how you can profit from a little-known technology, which is poised to disrupt the largest industry on the planet, the currency and the finance markets. Now, this is a $16 trillion industry. It's the largest market on the planet. It's bigger than diet, health, wealth, telecommunications, all that stuff. Not wealth, of course, but health, diet, communications, all the big ones. It's combined, it's the largest market in the world. And today, what we're about to show you is how the global finance and the currency markets are due for massive disruption. So the manipulation that we see in the markets today has destroyed any faith citizens had in our financial system, and the debts that countries like the US, Germany, Japan, and even China have are now coming due. So we look at this picture of this family. It says, according to our calculations, we can make it if we become a 6-income family. And it's kind of a joke. And maybe depending on where you're at, you aren't really faced with this scenario yet. But there are places in the world right now where these are real conversations that are happening because the families, the parents, cannot afford to live the way that they want, to eat the way they want, to have the lifestyle that they want. So they're asking, hey, kids, go out and get a job and we can all take care of ourselves. And what we have to ask ourselves is, will my kids be better off in the next generation? And this is the first time where we're really looking and every other generation before this has gotten better. They've had more opportunities, more education, less competition, more jobs, less economic turmoil. Now we're at a time where kids are graduating college and they've got $100,000 in debt, and the competition is so stiff that they can't go get a normal job to pay for this stuff. They're having to go and get jobs, you typically would not even need a college education for. Or they're having to go so far into college, get their master's and their PhD, just so they could be qualified enough to get those jobs. So you've got to go the extra mile now to do things that were, well, they were available to us for just doing what was originally required, and that's finishing school. So this new technology that we're talking about here, we look at what's happening in the world and we see that over 4,000 countries have gone bankrupt throughout history. 4,000 countries have practiced the same monetary policies. And this is the first time in our lifetime where we have technology to prevent another economic collapse, something that's already happened 4,000 times. But now we know history, we know what happened, we know how to prevent it. Now we've got the ability to do it with a technology that I'm about to share with you here today. So this technology could protect you and your family, as well as turn the entire banking industry inside out. This isn't a game changer. It's creating an entirely new game, new rules with new players. And more importantly, we're going to show you how ordinary people, not just the ultra rich, can get in on this once in a millennia opportunity that is upon us. The entire banking system is now on the brink of a really disruptive change, which means there's massive potential to profit with a $16 trillion industry. Global markets at the moment are showing terrible signs of stress, and this severely affects everyone, everywhere, including and especially people in the United States. So it pays to understand what is going on in the global currency and finance markets and understand why. Now, these are a couple news articles we pulled from the internet showing what's happening around the world. What's happening in Greece, what's happening in Argentina and Zimbabwe and Ireland. In Greece right now, citizens can't withdraw more than 60 euros a day. Their banks are saying, no, sorry, this money that you've put in here, that you've relied us to trust, to hold on to for 10, 20, 50 years, sorry, we don't have enough money now to cover your account if you want to come and take your money out. So we're only allowing our citizens to withdraw 60 euros a day. It's about 65 US dollars. You can't really, take care of yourself. You can't live off that. Maybe in the 80s you could have, but today the cost of living is so high. Food costs have quadrupled since then, probably even more than that. So if you can't live off 60 euros a day, how do you survive? Well, in this instance, cryptocurrency ATM machines popped up next to these banks and allowed citizens to withdraw up to 1,000 euros a day in cryptocurrency. So when the bank said, no, sorry if you can't feed yourself, sorry if you lose your house, their family was able to funnel money in to the country, no matter where they were at in the world. And now these citizens could retrieve money and now pay for their basic necessities. Alternative currencies flourish in Greece as the euros are harder to come by. So this is a reality. In Italy a few weeks ago, they had bank runs where there was absolute chaos, people running through the banks, trying to withdraw money, and the bank saying, sorry, no. And people were going mad and running around, and there's videos you can find on the internet. So this is happening. I don't know if it's happening where you're at. It's not happening where I'm at. But if it's happening in other places, I know that my country is not invincible, especially when we're practicing the same archaic banking methods. Nothing is different. So here's a guided tour through the collapse of Iceland, which in 2008 went completely bankrupt because of the same monetary policies. Argentina, Zimbabwe. Here's a chart showing what's happening to the euro. Look at this. Look at this huge drop off. Look how steady it is. And then free fall. Look at the debt, Japanese debt, US debt. This is unsustainable. And yet there's this belief that the status quo can remain. The belief that sound fundamentals doesn't seem to matter anymore. But you know what? They always do. It's like gravity. They always have, and they always will. A jet flying through the sky can defy gravity only until it runs out of fuel. And if we look at our economy, everything that we're looking at tells us that we are running on fumes right now. People assume the currency crisis and market manipulation will never happen in the United States, but it will. So why is the US dollar important to everyone globally? Because it's still the world's reserve currency. The US dollar is doomed just like those other currencies are doomed. It's not if, but when. I believe we as a nation are on the brink of a massive financial crisis, infinitely worse than the crisis of 2008. And that's because it won't be a banking and mortgage problem, but a full-blown currency crisis, the likes of which we've never experienced in this country. The savings of millions of people could be wiped out overnight. The stock market could crash by 50% or more. The way of life we've enjoyed as Americans for 50 years could come to an end. It's not a question of if this will happen, but when. This is Ron Paul, former US presidential candidate in 2008, 2012. This is the only guy I've ever voted for. Usually people don't talk publicly about, who they vote for. I refused to vote before Ron Paul ran, and I saw what he was trying to do. I saw that he understood what was happening in the world and what happening in America. So he understands what's happening here. This is creating all sorts of problems, which in itself is causing people to seek out solutions. It wouldn't be possible for this technology to be so disruptive if this had been developed 15 years ago, because the pressures to making these changes, they did not exist then like they do today. So we're really kind of pushed up in the corner today. We have to fight for our lives right now. We have to figure a way out. Otherwise, all these currencies that have collapsed and gone bankrupt and countries that have gone insolvent thousands of times, if we keep practicing those same monetary policies, why would we see any different? So now we're at a point where we need to make drastic changes. Today they exist because of the very broken system that the central banks have created and continue to create. So this really is a revolution of our entire financial industry. The impending collapse of the euro, the yen, the dollar, and probably the Chinese yuan is coming. We know there is a huge currency and debt crisis coming, but what can the average person do about it? It's a big problem, but just like I always say, if we've got a big problem and we can provide a big solution, then we can all make a very big paycheck. And this is the biggest problem our world has ever seen. In fact, yesterday, the Chinese bankers made an announcement that they want to cut ties with the US dollar and basically not recognize us as the US as the world reserve currency. And they want to position themselves as the world reserve currency. And they partnered with multiple other countries, Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa. These countries have partnered together to form a bank to advance the demise of the dollar so that they could replace the world reserve currency with their own currency. That's what's really happening. I'm not making this up. We don't have articles on this because this just came out, but you can find, if you go look that up, type in BRICS, BRICS. It's the name of the bank that they're creating that's designed to replace, and BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Look it up, guys. This is happening right now. So the technologies which disrupt this archaic, dysfunctional currency banking system that's in existence today have a massive profit potential. So what are the two revolutionary technologies that all of us can profit from? This disruptive technology is known as the blockchain. You may have heard of Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency, and the developers of Bitcoin used the blockchain as the underlying technology to support the Bitcoin economy and its infrastructure. This is why it's so attractive. Governments aren't involved, banks aren't involved. You don't need to pay managers and CPAs and lawyers and people to monitor your money, because in layman's terms, It provides a way for any data or information to be stored electronically and distributed across the entire user base. It's the world's largest digital public ledger, recording transactions electronically. So what that means is every transaction that occurs is transparent. You can see if money goes from one place to another. Now, you can't necessarily see who it is that sent the money, but you can see that there was money sent. So if something happened, you could track where that money went. You don't need to pay for the lawyers or the other CPAs or accountants to watch over your money. That is why the blockchain is so impactful and is one of the most revolutionary technologies and innovative technologies of our time. That is probably more important than the cryptocurrency itself. Now, so when you and I transact with one another, typically we pay somebody to monitor the money, but in this case, we don't need it. So using the banking system, that's how our existing financial works. The blockchain eliminates that need to pay all those people to monitor the transactions. So why is the blockchain so revolutionary? It's convenient, it's faster, it's safer, it's more efficient. Nobody owns it. It's stronger, more robust, secure, and you can verify every transaction. And these financial transactions are happening with cryptocurrency, the money that is encrypted. So already the world is changing at such a fast pace, it's hard to keep up, and we're overdue for technology to disrupt the financial industry. The banking system, like I said earlier, is archaic. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of technology that disrupted billion-dollar industries, trillion-dollar industries, or $100 billion industries at the least. We've got the general media. Growing up, we had TV, we had newspaper, we had movies, and we had books. The internet, it existed, but when I was like 12, it came out, but it certainly was not what it is today. I had AOL, America Online, and you were stuck clicking on like what's hot in the world, and there's like 10 buttons, and then you could get the internet, and even then, there wasn't a lot going on. It was all very text based. So the internet has evolved drastically over the years. I mean, when I got started, I'm telling you, everything was coded from scratch. And if you didn't know how to code, you could not do anything on the website or on the internet. And my dad taught me how to build a website when I was 13. So I was already very, very involved in this. So I saw the transformation of how we used to get all of our news and information delivered to us to now we've got Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And these are websites that owns zero content, but it produces billions and trillions of hits a day, a week, a month to all different types of content that you produce. So like the Gangnam Style video, in the first week, it had over 1 billion views. The Coney video, which I guess was the most popular video in 2012 on YouTube, in the first day, it got 90 million views, I guess, and that's equivalent to $600 million in earned media. So now we have the power. We don't need to rely on all these big industries with their networks and their, all their cameras and all that stuff and equipment. We don't need to rely on them anymore. We literally pull out our cell phone and we can make content that's just as good as something that these other guys are producing. So we create the content now, and we're using vehicles like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Then we've got the hospitality industry, where we look at the Marriott hotel chain or the Hilton or Motel 6 or any of these, right? They're billion-dollar industries, billions of dollars of real estate. Specifically, Marriott chain, founded in 1957 with billions of dollars of real estate, has a market cap of $19 billion. Then we look at Airbnb, a website founded by a couple of brothers who could not afford a place to stay. They rented some space out on their couch and decided to create a couch surfing website today they have no real estate. I'm sure they've got employees, but they don't have maids and cooks and chefs and concierge and all those other people that, the hundreds of people that you need at each hotel. And they've got a website valued at $25.5 billion. So you can see what's happening here. Now we look at the transportation industry, and we can see here that the taxi industry is $11 billion. And just a couple years ago, or 8 years ago, a couple basically comes up with this mobile app, and they create a way for people who have cars to connect with people who need rides. And this is the fastest growing business in the history and of all businesses. And it's at a valuation of, I think, $55 billion now. And that was just founded in 2009. And here we go. The taxi industry existed since the 17th century. Only a valuation of 11 billion. So Uber and Airbnb are great examples of companies that disrupted their industries and made early stage investors very rich. Early stage investors in these companies made 6,000% returns. But the industry that we're talking about here today, the financial industry, is 1,000 times larger than the transportation industry or the Uber market. 1,000 times larger. And here is a going over some of the ones we just went over, but a couple other businesses. We've got Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, owns no real estate. Alibaba, the most valuable retailer, has zero inventory. Facebook, the world's most popular media owner, creates no content. Uber, the world's largest taxi company, owns no vehicles. And Bitcoin, the world's biggest bank, has zero cash in it. So we're moving from a world of centralization to one of decentralization, along with money like cryptocurrencies that is just math and owned by no one. Now, here is a picture of a student who decided to get in at the right time, who bought Bitcoin at the early stages when it was very, very low, fractions of a penny, and he was doing a project in a class, and he acquired $26 worth, forgot about it, and then a couple years later, he realized he had 850,000 US dollars in his account. So we see there's a demand for it. We've seen that, the coin hit a high of 1350 at one point, and it's stabilized. It's right around $400 a coin right now. If you would have bought $100 worth of Bitcoin in 2009, you'd have, well, I think it's 422 is the last time I checked. You'd have $4.2 million in your bank account. If you only put $100, imagine if you put $1,000 or $10,000. So we see there's a demand for it, and we are on a mission to take our cryptocurrency, the next generation of cryptocurrency, faster, easier, more efficient, less expensive to use. We're creating the fastest way to move money around the world. And we're on a mission to create 100 millionaires in 2016 with the Capricoin. The global financial system is broken. The markets are corrupt. Central banks have ruined their own fiat currency. So what do? We've created a way for ordinary people to still transact, to still live their lives, and to still move money around without going through the banking system. This is the digital revolution that affects us all, and it is revolutionary. Introducing a new currency, a new global currency, an instant digital payment solution, the Capricoin. This is the next generation of cryptocurrency. We looked at Bitcoin. We love what they did. They've opened the gates. They've knocked down the walls. They've educated the consumers for us. But just like all businesses that come out with the first product of its kind, what do they usually call that? a prototype, meaning they have no intention ever to take that product to market. What do? They do some tests with it, some market tests, consumer tests, get people to try it out and get feedback. Then they go back to the drawing board and they innovate and implement new strategies, new features to make it better, to make it what the consumers wanted. But Bitcoin did not get a chance. Bitcoin was released and that was it. There's no going back. There's no rebuilding the network. It's done. So we see that it's had some challenges. Why isn't it mainstream yet? Why isn't everybody using it? Why did it take 5 years for the coin to reach a dime when our coin reached a dime in a week? There's a lot of reasons. And what we've done is we wanted to, again, create the next generation of cryptocurrency. And so when we go back and look at Bitcoin, like I said, it was the first one established in 2009. And today it's accepted by close to 500,000 locations. And they're expecting 1 million locations in 2016 will be accepting Capricoin. But Bitcoin. So how is Capricoin better than Bitcoin? Transactions will occur much faster than Bitcoin. The actual transactions occurring with Bitcoin are still using part of the archaic financial system. So when you send a transaction using Bitcoin, it can take 12 hours to verify. Now, are there patches? Have they figured out ways to expedite the process and speed it up? Yes, but there's also a fee. So you either pay and you wait, or you accept the money and you wait for it to come in your bank and you don't pay very much. Or if you want it faster, you pay. So what we've done is we've created a way to send and receive any amount of Capricoin to anybody, anywhere, instantly, without fees. And this is all done through your cell phone. So when you look at, maybe you go to a store and you swipe your credit card. Well, that merchant has a fee. They've got a transaction fee, a merchant processing fee, a credit card fee. We can eliminate that. The businesses can now download a mobile app and you can go into them and you can move Capricoin from person to person, which, by the way, is equivalent to real money. We are on the regulated exchanges. We are seen as real money. So we're on these exchanges right here. You can go to Bittrex, Blue Trade, CoinMarketCap. We just landed on a Chinese exchange, yobit.com. And this is what makes us legal. This is what makes us equivalent to all other currencies. And this is what allows me to open up my phone right now and say, you know what, I want to send, $25,000 to my friend Adrian over there. And I can open up my phone. I can send 25,000 Capricoin if they're $1 a piece, and he'll have the coins in 3 seconds. Now I'm US dollars. Adrian's using the euro. So what does he do? He exchanges it in real time using the Capricoin app into his currency, and there's also 0 fees for that. So we're looking at Capricoin as not only a way to protect your money, as obviously if you've got the dollar and you understand what we talked about earlier, how no country has ever lasted. Every country has gone bankrupt practicing these same monetary policies. So we see this as a way to diversify ourselves, unpeg ourselves away from a fiat currency that's rapidly declining. Additionally, I can now travel the world and do business with anybody, anywhere, instantly. All I need them to do is download a mobile app. Maybe they don't want the Capricoin. That's fine. Download the mobile app so we can at least conduct business together. And if you don't want the Capricoin, say I don't want the Capricoin, I want cash instead, and you take cash and we put it into your bank right there with 0 fees. That's what we're going to be able to do here. So it's not just, Bitcoin is seen as an investment. People come in and buy low and sell high. We don't want that. We want people to see our coin as real money. We want people to bypass sending a wire and not paying that $50 fee and not waiting 5 days to get their money overseas. What if I could get any amount of money, commercial size volume? I mean, we're going to have businesses, corporations coming on. They're probably doing transactions of millions of dollars a day. What if you need to move $10 million from somebody? Well, how long would that take you to do a wire or through your account or whatever the corporations do? I'm sure there's a waiting period regardless. What if I could open up my phone and move this money to you in 3 seconds to your business, and then you exchange it in real time into your currency wherever you're at in the world? And by doing that, by you doing that, by your friends doing that, your family doing that, we increase the activity, the number of transactions that occur between each other. We create real value between each other. That's what's going to drive the value of our coin up. So it's easy to use, right on your smartphones, peer-to-peer, secure, instant transactions, 0 transaction fees, no limits on how much or how little to send, instant transaction globally, cashback and discounts with our loyalty program that we're going to be providing for merchants at no cost. So merchants can download this and they're going to have all the merchant features that they're used to, plus more, and they can accept money at no cost. And we're going to give them a free marketing tool that allows them to create business on demand. And if you get these merchants on board, by the way, at no cost, you go in there and say, hey, download this app. And they download it and they're coded to you, you get paid a percentage of every transaction that occurs in that store. And there's never a cost to the merchant. So who is behind this phenomenal team and opportunity and idea here? From left to right, we've got our CFO, Ladislav Pastor, our CEO, Frode Berg, President and Global Master Distributor, Andy Morbitzer, and our network counsel and advisory team, Jesper Benson. All of these guys are incredibly talented, skilled, educated, and they know what needs to be done. As at the beginning of the call, I said everything that these guys have said is going to happen, has happened, and much faster than anybody anticipated. We got on the exchange. We broke records to get on the exchange. It takes years to be recognized by these regulated exchanges and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we launched our coin. And because we've got something different than the thousands of other cryptocurrencies that are seen as a speculative trade and investment, we were recognized by the exchanges in 9 weeks, and we broke records our first week on the exchange. So it's different, guys. This is a trip of a group of us. Here I am in the back there with the hat next to the CEO and the CFO. And this was our trip out here in Spain for our leadership conference. They flew about 25 of us out to Spain, put us up in a 5-star resort on the Mediterranean for over a week. And it was a phenomenal trip, just going out there, meeting everybody. I'd never been to Spain. I'd never been to Europe, actually. So to just be out here in the summertime, awesome weather, just an incredible experience. And really what I got from it is what I took away from it is I got a chance to meet the people behind it. Now, I already know this gentleman here, Andy Morbitzer and Nicole Peterson. I've known them for going on 7 years. This is the president of the company, and he has more, he's my mentor. I go to him for everything I need with business and anything with finance and economics. He came from Wall Street. He was a vice president of Liberty Financial. He's been in the network marketing industry for a while. He's been a master distributor. He's written compensation plans. He's been hired to go in and turn companies around and restructure their companies. So trust me when I say we have the best of the best people in this industry running this company here. One other cool quote here from our internal cryptocurrency expert, Gary Connor. He is the owner of Altcoin Today. He's been approached by thousands of companies and people who own these coins. And they say, hey, I got this idea. Can we partner up? And he turns them all down. So when we approached him and we showed him our coin, he said that he felt like we were stealing his ideas, copying him, listening to his phone calls, because he'd been working for the last couple of years on exactly what we're doing, a way to take cryptocurrency to that next level where it's seen as more than an investment, and it's really a way to move money around between people. So he's like, why am I going to keep building on this? You've already got it. And with my knowledge, my expertise, your technology, your marketing ability, we will have the perfect coin. This is what he calls it. And there's thousands of coins out there, guys. And he's been approached by thousands of people. He chose Capricoin for a reason. And he now works with us directly. He does our corporate trainings. He is a wealth of knowledge. He gets millions of hits to his Altcoin Today website. He's made a lot of money in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. He owns another cryptocurrency. The guy knows his stuff. So how do you get paid with Vizionary? There's multiple ways to get paid. The beauty of this system is there's a one-time payment to get started, no monthly fees, and really no sponsoring requirements. If you don't want to sponsor, you don't have to. But of course, if you do, it's very lucrative. They've got a very nice compensation plan. But if you don't want to sponsor, here's 5 ways to do it without sponsoring. The Capricoin itself, staking on the external wallet. We don't need to go too much into detail, but essentially you can earn free coins when you keep your Capricoin wallet connected to the network. That's all that means. Retail platform, that's going out, getting merchants, earning a percentage of the transactions. 20 to 40% bonus for participation when you are mining coins. And by the way, we don't sell you the Capricoin, we sell you, mining time, mining technology. You buy mining time, we produce the coins for you. And if you mine so much, if you mine 500 units, for every 10 weeks, you're going to earn anywhere from 20 to 40% back in free mining time. If you don't get that yet, we can go into that later, and there's lots of videos that cover that. Cashback rewards. So basically shopping with somebody and earning cashback rewards using the Capricoin. If you want to build a team, like I said, it's very lucrative. There's getting started bonuses. You earn 10% of your commission. We've got fast start bonuses, where essentially once you hit so many cycles, you're qualified for a commission. So 5 cycles, I think you get 50 euro, and then no, that's not right. I don't remember exactly what the bonus is, but there's 2 different fast start bonuses, and then it's tied in with the getting started bonus. So if you hit it within 30 days, they retroactively pay you either 50% more, or they'll double your commissions depending on which bonus you hit. And that's covered. If you guys, I'll show you here in a second where you can find more information on the compensation plan. Direct sales bonuses, that's the 10% I was talking about that you get for all of your personal signups. Binary network team commission up to 32,000 euros per week. So basically, it's if you've ever been in a binary and your team volume, usually like once you hit a certain amount of volume on your working leg, that will generate a commission. That's what that is. Then you got matching bonuses. So as you sponsor people, you have the ability to earn up to 5 levels deep on matching bonuses, but then they have this really cool incentive where you can actually earn 6 to 10 levels deep on once you qualify as a visionary leader. It's going to take a while to get to that level, so we don't need to worry about that yet. But they basically have extended the visionary leader bonus 3 generations, or actually 4 generations, where they usually, most businesses will only stop you at the 1st generation. So they've extended it 4 generations deeper to make that much more money. And then the Capricoin loyalty program, that's getting people to download the app and getting paid off of the movement of the money. If you build a team, commission volume will be generated off of what your team is doing. So there's 5 different packages to get started with. You can do 97 all the way up to 5,997 euros. And depending on which package you choose is going to dictate how many slots that you get. And the more slots that you get, the more coins you're going to be able to produce. So another nice thing is there's no monthly fees. So choose the package that works for you. And maybe, you start with the gold, and then next month you're like, oh, I want to upgrade. All you would do is just pay the difference, the 1,000 euros, and then you could go to platinum, or if you want to do Vizionary, you could do that as well. Pay with credit card. You can pay with a wire. I believe they just added the Bitcoin option back there as well, so you can now pay with Bitcoin too. So here's a couple testimonials from some of our team members who have been with us for a while. I'm fully involved with the booming e-commerce industry, and when I understood Vizionary's vision with the digital currency Capricoin, it became clear to me that this will become a preferred payment solution for online merchants because it represents so much savings in transaction fees to them. Here's a great quote from my friend Jill Peltzer. The number one reason I joined Vizionary was to better protect the financial future of my family by having more control over my hard-earned income, in which it's not all tied up in monopolistic central banks and broke governments. Here's a good one from my buddy Vic Shattuck. The reason I joined Vizionary is very simple. I looked at the name of the company, Vizionary, and thought about what it means to have true vision, or in this case, vision, the act or power of imagination, which to me meant that the company founders understand the importance of looking ahead into the future and determining the path to take to make this digital currency usable for the common exchange of goods and services. So the time is now. We are user-friendly. All cryptocurrencies are mined in order to exist, which can be expensive and time-consuming. But with Vizionary, we do all this for you with our 100% automated software. Time is precious. The system is automated. Training webinars are recorded, so you don't need to be an expert on this. We're going to teach you, how to plug in. We've got all the training, all the resources that you need. And if you're going to share this with somebody, don't go out and regurgitate everything. Just share them with what you watched yourself to learn this. Money, open an account and get your feet wet. Immerse yourself in our community. Learn while you protect yourself. It's still your money in a digital form. You own, manage, and control your own account. So think of this like an international savings account, guys. You're not buying a product. We're not shipping anything to your house. You're not on a monthly mandatory product-based auto shipment. You're literally exchanging your fiat currency for mining time, which is going to produce other currency. And at any time, you can sell that currency, exchange it, get back into the US dollar or the euro, whatever you're comfortable with, and you're out. So you're not, obligated to hold on to this. This is money and equivalent to all other money. You can send and receive money with no fees, which makes traveling smoother. If you don't take action, the only thing you can expect is what you currently have: wire fees, interest fees, currency conversion fees, etc. Our mission: to create a coin, the Capricoin, that allows individuals to participate in one of the most meaningful wealth transfers in the history of mankind, the shift from a centralized, fee-ridden banking system to a no fees, no restrictions, instant peer-to-peer financial platform that can all be completed on a smartphone. It's exciting and it's happening now. There will never be a better time to be one of the early adopters of Capricoin. The time is now. Are you ready? So I think we're good here. Are you there, Adrian?
Okay, cheers. That's great.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Yeah, I've taken a few questions that have come in. Just making a note. Right. The first question is one of the last ones. How many Capricoin can we expect to get for one slot? That's from Elise.
Slot production varies depending on participation. So to give you an example, I got started. I was the first person in North America mining. My first week, I was producing 374 coins a slot. Then I told some people, then it dropped to 200. Then they told some people, then it dropped to 100. It's down to about 10 coins a slot right now. But it varies each week. It all depends on. Another thing is because we're on the exchanges. So if I go to, like, you can still see my screen, right?
Yeah.
If I go to bittrex.com here, log in. So I'm going to click on wallets. So I've got 1,627 coins on a completely separate account. I did not mine these coins. You know what I did? I bought these coins. And this is something you're going to learn to do over time, but ultimately I suggest that you do both. If you're going to do this, the name of the game is get as many coins as you can right now while the price is as low as it's ever going to be. So what I like to do is I do both. I know that mining might be a great deal one week, or more advantageous to do, and I'm going to produce more coins versus the value on here. And then I know that maybe the next week it's more advantageous for me to come on here and spend some Bitcoin to buy some Capricoin, because that's what you need to do. You can't use cash on this website. We have training videos on how to do this, and I know this is a little off topic, but I want you guys to understand that you're not forced to always mine. We want you to get the coin no matter how you want to get it. And ideally, you want to get the best price. But mining down the road, there will be a turning point where mining will always be less expensive than buying on the exchange. And the reason why is because we've capped our mining price to never be more than 20 euros a slot. And if you go and try, to mine a Bitcoin, you might spend $500 on electricity and produce a coin that's worth $400. So you're out $100 right out of the gate. With this, it's never going to exceed 20 euros as a distributor. If you come in at retail, it's 25 euros, for a retail customer, and that's your cost. So it's always going to be affordable. There's going to be a point down the road. I mean, if the coin is $25 a coin, it's not going to produce one coin when you spent $20. You're never going to be in profit right out of the gate. That's not how this works. But you might get a fraction of a coin at that point. So you want to get as many coins as you can right now is the name of the game.
Okay, and one slot, is that 5 coins?
No, last week it was close to 10.
The week before it was 5 then, was it? It's gone up to 10 now, was it?
Yeah, a few weeks ago it hit as low as 5. But then what we did is we taught people how to buy on the exchange, and it shot back up to 10 coins a slot. So ideally you want to do both. If we're all just mining, the value, we're going to get some coins, but we really, we want to be on the exchange as well.
So is there any strategy there, like a 50-50 then, or 60-40, or just keep it simple?
I evaluate the price. It's not even that. I look at the price and I figure out, okay, the coin just jumped up to $2 a coin. No, it's no longer worth it. But if it's maybe $1.50, it's worth it. There's a breaking point.
So the higher the price the coin goes, then the better it is to mine it then in the back office.
Yeah, you can only look off last week's mining results. So you don't know what's going to be happening this week. You can only look off last week's to kind of gauge what would happen, what you think might happen. But it's not going to be a huge difference in price. But no matter what, I mean, when I first got started, people, right now, let's say you come in and you put in, $200 or whatever, and you get, I don't know, 25, 35, 40 coins or whatever. If the price goes from $1 to $2 at this point, you're breaking even. But when I joined, I had $3,000, close to $4,000, and my coins were worth about $20. And I had a lot of room to grow till I got my money back. So you guys it doesn't take a lot for you to be in profit is what I'm trying to get at, compared to when I started, I had 4,000 euros in it and it was worth $20.
And the same with me, wasn't it? I just caught it, I think, at the right time, where I bought 3 platinum packages at 1997 each.
I think you were, when you produced your coins, you had to triple the value. I think you got them at like, I don't know, 40 cents or something like that, or 30 cents. And they just needed to be 90 cents for you to make your money back. But then they shot up to $3.54 and you made like 10 times your money. So it doesn't take much to break even, and then it certainly doesn't take much to profit from there out.
How many actual coins are available for sale, if that's a good question, and how many are available now for people to buy?
There will only be 200 million coins allocated, with an additional 8 million that will be given away for free to customers and merchants just to get them using it, along with staking bonuses. But so 200 million is the most coins, that is the max our economy will produce.
And how do they work that in regards to that number? Like Bitcoin's 21 million, isn't it? So how do they work out these available figures? Do you know?
They were planning on, if they released, it started at 500,000 coins a week, and then it dropped to 480, and then 460. It got down to 420, and then they realized the slot production was so low, so they increased it back up to 500,000 coins a week that they're producing from here on out. So that's the most coins they're going to produce, and 500,000 coins, it was supposed to go over the next 9 years or something like that. So if we did it exactly as planned, it would take 9 years to distribute all the coins.
Right. Okay. Another question from I didn't get the name of the person here, but where do you recommend we store the Capricoin?
Well, the back office will store the coins for you, but we do also have a desktop wallet. If you download the desktop wallet, you need to password protect it. You need to back it up. Guys, this is like a wallet with money in it. If you go outside and you drop your wallet on the ground, it's gone. Same thing here. Your money, your coins are in your account, and if your computer is not secure, not protected, something happens, your money's gone. So make a backup. And we have videos on how to back it up on a flash drive. You can make like 10 flash drive copies if you wanted to be extra cautious and secure, but there's plenty of ways to do it. The third way is I've got my mobile app right here. Now, what's really cool about this is, and at first I didn't realize this, I downloaded the mobile app and I moved the coins onto my phone, and I was like, oh great, if something happens to my phone, I'm gonna lose, I think I got like 500 coins on here. So I was like, oh great, I'm gonna lose my 500 coins. But it's actually tied to the network. So it's tied to my username. So I can go log in, download the app on any phone and log in, and my coins are tied to that account, and then it's all password protected and secure. I get a notification if somebody tries to log in, if money's sent, anything like that. So
that's the Capricoin app, is it?
Yeah, that's the Capricoin app, exactly. I've got it on my I've got the Android version. I'm beta testing right now. The app, the Apple store, the iPhone store has released the Capricoin app already, but the Android version has not yet.
Yeah, I've downloaded the Capricoin app, but I haven't actually I'm just looking at it right now, and it's just to store coins. Then is that what it's for? Just to store actual Capricoins?
No, it's a wallet, so you can move money from your phone to my phone. You can look at your back office. It's not only a wallet, but it's also got the team building functionality. So I can look at my team. I can see who signed up, commissions.
All right, yeah.
It's a pretty sweet app.
You log on to it with the same username and password as you do on a desktop. It's the same thing.
Your Vizionary login.
Yeah. Okay. So is it safer to store for beginners? Then is it safer to store the Capricoin in the back office rather than on an external exchange?
It is in the beginning. Get familiar with it. The external exchange is not as bad. It's the desktop wallet that I'm most nervous about. We had somebody the other day. Luckily, they were able to retrieve it, but they were freaking out because their computer shut down, wasn't turning back on, and they thought they lost their wallet. We were able to finally get it back. But as long as you've got copies, and we've got lots of training videos that adequately walk you through how to do this the right way and make sure everything's protected, you're not going to have any issues.
Okay. Can we, Mohammed is asking, can we buy Capricoins via the app without the need to buy Bitcoins first?
No. What you have to do if you want, well, you can work with Adrian because he's got the Bitcoins on that end for you. But if you go through the exchange, that is a cryptocurrency exchange. So you have to think of like the US dollar is the world reserve currency, at least for now. The Bitcoin is kind of like the world reserve cryptocurrency. So all the thousands of cryptocurrencies are paired to the value of the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin is the currency that has to be used to buy all these other currencies, or at least the initial transaction.
So we always have to go through Bitcoin first then before we buy any other coin, really, then?
If you do it on the exchange.
Right. Okay, I missed that bit. So can we actually will we ever be able to buy Capricoin with cash straight off on the exchange?
Well, no, we can't sell you the coin directly. Now, down the road, I mean, this is big picture, long-term vision stuff. What if we surpass the value of Bitcoin? What if we launched our own exchange? What if we became the coin everything else was paired to? If we really have the most innovative next generation cryptocurrency, fastest, easiest way to move around, then there's no reason why we can't get to that level and we would become the dominant currency. That is the long-term vision of this company.
Right.
And at that point, then they're, either we create it or a third party creates it, but there's going to be ways to buy cryptocurrency and you just pay maybe a fee for it. So maybe some third party, like they have these Bitcoin ATM or cryptocurrency ATM machines popping up now. You go up to with your phone, you scan it. Now you can pay a fee, but you get Bitcoin on your phone that you can now spend. You don't get it instantly. It takes several hours. So that's the direction things are headed.
Right. Okay. Next question is how many, I think we've answered this, how many Capricoins can I get in one slot? We've answered that, haven't we, I think?
Yeah, it varies. Right now, under 10.
Or about 10, yeah. So somebody starting off then, would you recommend they start on a bronze, obviously silver or gold, 3 different prices there, and sort of split the money between buying some Capricoin on the exchange as well as buying a package internally? A bit of both?
The most important thing is that you get a spot, you start mining, accumulating coins. There's a lot of other benefits that you get because you don't get free mining time. You don't get free coins from the exchange. Vizionary gives you that. There's plenty of perks that outweigh just buying on the exchange. So you definitely want to get a spot. Plus, if you're a builder, there's going to be, we're in the very beginning here. There's a couple thousand people here in the United States. There's less than 10,000.
What I mean is if somebody had, say, $1,000, make the figures easy. If somebody had $1,000 to put into this business, you know, is there any way of working out, would you go for like a silver position of 297 and pay the difference on Capricoin on the exchange, or go for a gold position and pay the difference on the exchange? Do you know what I mean? Is there any way of working that out or not?
I mean, yeah, the math can be done. Just know that 50 euros is always going to go towards education, no matter what package you buy. So if you get the bronze, 50 euros towards education, 47 is going to go towards mining. And it varies. I think next week we're going to have an increase in slot production personally, but I don't know for sure, but just based off, you start to see little trends and patterns here. And I've been right several times on it, and I think we're going to have an increase again in slot production because I believe a lot of people are buying on the exchanges right now, which it gives us a good chance to maximize our slot production. So it's a strategy. It's got to be your own internal strategy, and you got to do it based off gut intuition and what the numbers are on the exchanges, what you think they're going to be, and you just get good at it over time. I can't give you advice in that area.
I got one of my guys is coming on now, he's got a bit of money to play with. He wants to, like, he got 10 grand more or less. If he's prepared to put 10 grand on the exchange and buy Capricoin, is that going to push the price up quite quickly, do you think? Or is there enough Capricoin there for him to make a 10 grand purchase as a one-off?
Not from one person, and probably not in a day. You probably won't be able to get that much that quick. However, if you're going to do it, the thing about that is you're going to try to get the lowest price that you can get, and that's going to drive the value down. So no matter if there's buying and selling going on, it's not how much buying and selling is going on. It's what people are willing to pay for the coins. And if you're trying to lowball people and go, 5% or a couple percent below the value, when you've got that much money coming in on that, that's going to most likely lower the value. That's like the guy the other day that was trying to sell 47 Bitcoin worth of Capricoin for under market value.
He was trying to sell what, 47?
He was trying to sell 47 Bitcoins worth of Capricoin. So,
right.
Like, I don't even know what it was. It was a huge number.
That's $18,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So and he's trying to do it below the value. So right now, I'm not saying don't do it. I want you guys to get the best price. Right now, those purchases are going to have a pretty strong impact on our value, just because there's so few people right now that have Capricoin. As we release this app, and we got Hong Kong, that's growing like crazy. The president of the company is going to Hong Kong next week and training them all, or next week or the week after, how to train them all how to buy on the exchange. It's going to drive the value up here ultimately, because we're going to get more and more people on. Then we release the mobile apps. We start moving money between each other. So the purchases right now have a strong impact. In a few months, they won't have as big as an impact, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
So that particular guy, then, would he just put a buy offer in at whatever price he wants, then, and just leave it sit there and see if somebody's prepared to sell him that amount of Capricoins, and just hope for the best?
That'd be it.
Right.
But I would suggest not just doing all in the exchange. You also want to get a spot, because you can earn free mining time from the company, get free coins. You can't get that with the exchange.
Can you explain that extra cashback, or no cashback, the 20 to 40% you get mining bonus?
Yeah. So when we just started our well, was it this week? No, last week was the start of our newest 10-week mining period. And if you mine 500 units or 10 slots over the next 10 weeks minimum, they'll give you back 20% of what you mine. And So that's the 20%. Now, in order to get the 40%, you have to pre-mine into the next 10 weeks. And you can't do that until, basically you can only mine 10 weeks at a time. So it mined last week, this week, the next 8 weeks. But 5 weeks from now, what's going to happen is I'm going to have or 4 weeks from now, I'm going to have my 5 weeks left of this 10-week mining period. But it's going to open up 5 weeks into the new mining period because I can only see 10 weeks at a time. So if I mine those next mining periods, I get paid 40% if I pre-mine them. So 40% back of whatever I mine, I'm going to get that back in free mining time.
What do you mean by pre-mine? You mean set up the mining?
Set up the mining in advance. Set it up, basically set it up 10 weeks, but then once 5 weeks go through, I need to open up another 5 weeks so that I'm pre-mining into that next session. Because if I just do 10 weeks now, I'm only in this mining period. But once 5 weeks go through, then I'm going to see 5 more weeks, and those 5 weeks are part of the next mining period that I can see. So I would mine those and I get paid 40%.
Right, okay. When is version 2 of the app planned to be rolled out?
I've got version 2 right now. So there's going to be 7 versions launched here before the end of March. And by the time we get to the end of the March, we'll have our merchant app released.
Okay, that's for Apple and Android, is it?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Next question, when upgrading from one position to another, can it be incremental?
Yeah, you can just buy, if you're at silver, you can move up to gold, just pay the difference.
Pay the difference, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's great. So that's Monica asking that question. So you can pay the difference. That's great. Mm-hmm. Robin is asking, is it best to use Blue Trade or Bittrex to buy Capricoin?
I haven't used Blue Trade, and I think they changed some of their policies. You used to be able to pay with cash. You can't anymore, so you have to use cryptocurrency anyway. So I just use Bittrex.
Yeah, I use Bittrex and just buy the Bitcoin first, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Takes a few days to go into the account. Well, unless you go with Adrian.
Yeah. Yeah, I got plenty of Bitcoin if anyone wants to do a quick exchange. Mr. Asmat is asking, can I go direct to gold? So I'm not sure what he means by that. He means
sign up at gold. Absolutely.
Yeah. You can start off as a bronze, silver, or even better, start off as a gold package. And I think that's what most people do, didn't they? Most people started at a gold, didn't they?
No, I mean, it just depends, really. A lot of people start at gold. A lot of people start at silver. Some people start at platinum. Had a few visionaries. Yeah. Okay,
I think, any more questions, guys? We just well over the hour. It's, 1 hour and 20 minutes. So,
good timing.
If you've got any more questions, you better be quick. I know there's a bit of a delay on the Hangout.
97 euros is the gold package.
Yeah, 197 euros for the gold package. And the great thing is you can pay on a Visa or debit card, or you can pay with Bitcoin. And I've tested both those ways, and they work very efficiently. And I think it's great to have a Visa debit card system in place. You know, it gives a lot of security, Patrick. Is that right? This gives us a lot of credibility behind the company there, isn't it, to accept credit cards?
Yeah. A lot of companies don't like accepting credit cards because, well, they feel their products are inferior. People will do chargebacks and things like that. But when you've got a company that's comfortable with their products, then there's no reason why they shouldn't accept credit cards.
And more important, beware of the scams out there. There's loads and loads of cryptocurrency scams out there. And I was approached on one today by another friend. It's coming out of India, I think, or Asia somewhere. Lots of scams out there which take direct payments. So they're not going to accept a credit card payment. It's normally just a straight wire into their account. So be very careful if companies are asking you for a straight bank transfer, you know?
Yeah,
So,
you've got zero recourse if you do that. And I don't need to go too deep into that, but there's a reason why I chose this company and none of the other companies. It's because I feel this is the only one that could that's really operating legally in the US for sure, other countries for sure. But we're recognized as real currency. We're on the regulated exchanges. We're equivalent to real currency. If something happened to Vizionary, which is independent from Capricoin, by the way, they don't own each other. They're not, Vizionary sells mining time, and the mining time produces a coin, completely independent. If something happened to Vizionary, you still got your coins on the exchange that are tradable. So that's the owners and presidents and executive team have done everything they can to make sure we're protected here long term, because let's face it, we're in a business and an opportunity here where there's probably laws that don't even exist yet. But because our president, he came from Wall Street, he understands these laws quite well already. He's done everything he can to make sure we're protected here.
And all these cryptocurrencies on the exchange, Bittrex and BlueTrade, they are all, I'm assuming, gone through some kind of criteria to get on there. Is that right?
Oh, they absolutely have to be a legitimate blockchain. If you are, legitimate cryptocurrency with a blockchain, as I referred to earlier, that's what makes us special, guys. That's what is so important about this technology is it's transparent and trustworthy. There's no transaction that can happen that can't be traced. And money can't disappear. You can prevent fraud and corruption and eliminate all that. So it's very impactful. Imagine if corporations and governments and banks had to start using the blockchain and we kept these guys honest. I mean, that's how powerful this technology is. And they don't want it. They're resisting it. They're finally agreeing to do something with it because they're going to get left in the dust if they don't. But they do not want to be part of this because now it's like, now we can watch everything they do.
That sounds good. Just explain again, Patrick, if I want to send you $1,000 or even $10,000 or even $100,000 from my account or from my iPhone to your Android phone, how does that work? Is that possible yet?
Yeah, it is very possible. So you just open up your phone, open up the Capricoin app, and what I would do is, let me see if I can share my screen here with you guys and show it on.
Because this is what gets me excited. This movement of money around the world, I'm assuming it's for next to nothing, isn't it? There's no fees attached to it.
Oh wait, I gotta stop screen sharing. Yeah, there's no fees. Not at all.
A lot of people think there's a bit of a catch there. They find it hard to believe that there's no fees. Like PayPal are charging 3, 4, 5%. Bank wire charges from the banks.
Well, yeah, there's no fees in this. The money is generated in other ways, so we don't need to take fees with this. But you can see here, I've got some coins in there. Yeah. I've got my send and receive button here. So all I would do is just press send coin. Oops, there it goes. So then I would type your username, your Vizionary username, and the amount, and I would hit send coins, and you'd have it in 3 seconds.
So what are you actually sending me? $724 in money, in dollars, or are you sending me $724 in Capricoins?
It would be $722 in US dollars is what I have here.
So I thought you'd be sending to me in Capricoins, and then I'd be selling the Capricoins back into dollars.
Oh no, it's right below it. You probably can't see it, but it also says Capricoin below it. But what it's doing is it's saying it's equivalent to $722 there.
So what actually arrives on my phone? 499 Capricoins, which I have to exchange back into dollars. Then is that right?
Yeah. So I'd move the Capricoin over to you, and then you would exchange it. I'm not sending you dollars. I'm sending you Capricoin. And you would exchange it into the euro. So I'll do it. I'll just hit send coin. What's your username?
On my first account.
Any of them.
On my first account, any account, is it?
Sure.
Adrian. My name, Adrian Hibbert.
All right. Okay, so I type that in. I'm gonna put 1 coin. It's worth $1.45 here. It factors in mining time, so it's not the exact price. So I'm just going to say note to receiver. Yo. All right. Secret. Should I type in my secret password? Make sure nobody can just send any amount of coins. I'm going to hit send coins. Sending.
Failed.
Transfer failed. Hold on. Adrian Hibbert. Send coins. Oh, just said success. Oh, you know what I did? I sent it to Bowtie Guy, but it said sent successfully, and then it's going to show. But I sent it to Bowtie Guy accidentally because I had him in my list.
All right, that's okay. So that one Capricoin has gone to. To Bow. Okay. Yeah.
Retrieving transactions now. Because I just opened up the page here.
So what actually happens if the price of Capricoin just drops all of a sudden or increases all of a sudden at that spur of the moment? Would you see a profit or a loss? How does that work? There
you go. So now it says one Capricoin sent to Bowtie Guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the difference. I mean, if you sent a Bitcoin and something happened in 12 hours, you would take either a gain or a loss. With Capricoin, it's 3 seconds. Not much can change in 3 seconds. But
yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
I mean, technically, I guess you could lose out on that.
Yeah, but you're talking of seconds.
Seconds, yeah.
That's a very good point, and that answers a lot of questions. Because if you were sending $100,000 or even millions of dollars, and it's a 7-hour delay, that could be a big difference on the exchange, couldn't it? If the price drops.
A huge difference in how much money you'd pay or you'd gain on that. Yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Can you try and send me that one Capricoin again, and I'll send it back to you anyway. I'm not trying to take money off you, but
no, yeah, I will. I think what happened is because you don't have the app. I think that's why it rejected it.
All right. Okay.
But let me see. I'll try again.
I've got this on my screen, and showing Z. Can you see my screen, Patrick?
Hold it there. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, yeah, it's open. All right, so let me see. Hold on. All right, so authenticating user. Takes a second to load here. Authenticating user. Come on. Just keep saying authenticating user here. Oh, there it goes.
Why is that? Is that because my name is?
No, because I was logging in because I restarted the app. Okay, I'm gonna type in Adrian
Hibbert. Yeah.
Okay. And one coin and. All right, send coins. Transfer completed successfully.
Oh yeah, I just got that through. Do you see that then? You probably missed that.
I don't see it.
I had a green button. I had a green light appear on the top. It hasn't actually showed yet. It did.
I just hit continue. It just said to continue. Press. Okay, that should have gone through because it went -1 for me.
Okay, I got a. I got a wheel going on. Is that normal?
Oh, something just came up on your phone. What does that say?
Oh, okay. Error occurred retrieving rates. Please try again. That's interesting.
Well, this is beta, guys, so.
Well, I did get a little green bar then. This is the first time I tried this. Obviously, I did get a little green bar saying, but I missed it. It was so quick, saying that something was happening, you know?
Yeah, it says I've sent it. It says you've got it.
It was sent, yeah. Could be the problem my end.
Yeah, maybe if you restart the phone or restart the app, it might show up. I've had to do that before. But like I said, this is beta. You know, this isn't released out, or they've got the versions in the App Store, but it's really just for people to test out right now. The end of March, we'll have all this stuff released here and finalized.
Right, okay, but it's all still in beta test mode at the moment. It's all in beta.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, anyway, we'll try that again, Patrick. I'm interested to see, because that gets me excited about sending money around the world, you know, free of charge.
Very exciting stuff.
That's a big thing.
It is. It really is.
So, okay, we're going to call it a night, and what I'm going to try and do, Patrick, I've emailed Gary Connor, you know, and he's interested. Oh, here we go. That's in euros. I got see my app there.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. You got it.
I'm not sure how I've received it in euros.
Well, it's going to go into your currency. It's in US dollars, but it converted it.
Yeah, see there the bottom, one Capricoin from Patrick says on it.
It's a little blurry. I don't see it.
Hold on.
Oh, there it goes. I see it now. Yep. I saw it for a second.
Yeah, it's there's a bit of light problem. 1.31. Hold on.
There it goes. I
There
see
you go.
it.
1.31, €1.31.
Nice.
So all I got to do is send that back to you. Just click send back to you, is it? And basically.
Yep. Hit send coins. Type connect with Patrick is my username, all one word.
Wallet username, connect. Does it matter if it's in small letters or big letters?
Doesn't matter, I don't think.
Connect with Patrick, okay, and just click the amount. So I'll put, well, I have to put 131, don't I?
You just put one coin. You just put, because you're not.
It's actually in euros. It's actually shown in euros, the bar is.
It should be asking you how many CPC you want to send, though. You should just put one.
Just put one, is it? Okay, and then where's the send bar? Or send coins, okay.
At the very bottom, you'll have to type in your secret password.
Oh,
and
right, yeah. Oh my God, okay. Okay, transfer completed. Coin sent successfully.
All right, let's see what happens here.
Yeah.
I shut down the app again, I think.
You sent on my end.
I just, for some reason, I keep shutting it down. I gotta open it up again. Authenticating user here.
Right.
Looks like we got some new people on here saying, hey, what is this all about? I don't understand. I think they might have missed the presentation.
There you go. My account is showing 0 now, so €0, as you can see there.
Perfect. Yeah, it's still authenticating user here.
Yeah, that took a while with me as well. But that's great. I can see that working. That's basically Pasha is asking what's this all about? I don't understand. Is there anyone here that can help me?
I got your coin. There it is. It came already.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I've seen that.
Another thing, I'll show you some other features, guys, here. So we got the map. So when we get our merchants on board, you're going to be able to find businesses just by opening up your app and then kind of scrolling around and, you know, pinch and zoom. I can't really do it from this angle, but you get the idea. And you can see the businesses in your area. So we're going to be advertising businesses globally on this mobile app. Then we got notifications. Here is the my team activity that's happening. So there's the coins, and then there's some team volume and some other things. So I can see everything that's happening here in my business. My buddy says, "You sending me crypto?" Yes, I am.
Sorry, Pasha is asking, what are we actually doing? Basically, what we're doing is just moving money around, Patrick. Is that right? Just moving money sending money. I'm sending money from you to me, and you're sending the money back.
Yep. Through this mobile phone here, through this mobile app, I can move any amount of money to anybody anywhere in the world without fees.
A bit of maybe a silly question, but I know I got a few Asian friends in Pakistan, Bangladesh, and India, and they always seem to have problems with sending money out of the country. There's all kinds of legislation there.
Yeah.
Is this going to work in Bangladesh?
Yep.
India?
Yep. Completely decentralized, bypassing the banks, bypassing the governments, bypassing the fiat issued, government issued currency. Everything is going to be done through your cell phone.
Right, okay. Let me just put
your link in there.
Yeah, Blessing's asking what's the website link. Blessing, you can send me a message on Facebook as well if you want, but I just sent you the basic sign up link. But I recommend wherever you do, just take a €97 position at the worst scenario on a credit card, and you can worry about upgrading at some point, sooner rather than later. But get in as soon as you can and get a position, because it's a binary setup, Patrick. Is that right? So the quicker somebody gets in, the potential they got to see people drop below them. Is that right?
Yeah. As we build this out, you'll have volume growing below you. So as Adrian knows, 50% of his business has kind of been built out for him because of the timing and positioning of where he got his spot here. And this was only last month. So we're just getting started here.
Okay.
Question about Bittrex training.
Yeah.
When you, we do have training on that. When you guys come on board here, we'll plug you into all those videos. You've got a website set up internally here that will show you how to go out and buy Capricoin with the Bitcoin. So we'll show you how to do all that.
Okay. I think we're definitely going to call it a night now. Didn't expect it to drag on there, but that was a good little practice exercise there. I'm also going to just put this link in the chat to finish off, the Future Wealth Creators link. Sure. Make sure this is correct. It's question user mark equals, isn't it, on the end, isn't it?
Yeah, let me type it out for you here so we don't have any challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. See. And we're going to use which.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's futurewealthcreators.com/webinar/user equals. Is that right?
Use question mark equals. Yeah, question mark user equals. Correct.
Yeah, question mark user.
And you want A Hibbert, right?
Yeah. Perhaps you can put the two links in. One that gives the presentation with Gary Conner, and the other one that does the
yeah, I can
the
do
normal
that.
Presentation.
Yep.
Well, I'll send an email out anyway to everyone in the next 10 minutes.
All right, those two links will work. But they're not. Oh, you know what it is? They're not.
Oh yeah, you should have stuck the HWTP question mark // in front. That's all. Yeah.
There you go. Oh,
Mohammed is asking. Yeah, that's great. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, you repeated. Yeah. You repeated the same one twice. Yeah. Mohammed is asking, how do we get the money from the app to be transferred over into the bank account?
You're gonna, not on this version, of course, but on the upcoming versions of the mobile app, you'll be able to sync your bank account on here. So if somebody sends you Capricoin and you're like, I don't want Capricoin, I want cash instead, you take that instead, and then you can move it into your bank account.
You haven't got to go through Bitcoin first.
Not through the mobile app. That's gonna bypass that whole purpose of doing all that.
And what about certain countries, again, Bangladesh, India, sort of KYC? Do people got to upload their passport or go through any credit checks or passport and utility bills?
No credit checks, but you will need to verify who you are, because we need to make sure that we're not just letting anybody come on board. There's no terrorist activity or something going on. You guys are buying weapons of mass destruction. Like, we need to know who our customers are. So everybody that signs up in Vizionary, you need to submit a driver's license and a copy of utility bill or something to verify your address, essentially.
What if somebody wants to try and download the app without a Vizionary account? Is that possible or not?
Not right now, but in the future, anybody is going to be able to download the app. Ideally, you want to go to a friend, a family member, and say, hey, download this app and get coded to it through your phone so that you get paid on every transaction that they do. You don't want them just to go find Capricoin on the App Store. Right now, it's okay because only people who are in Vizionary can log in here. That means somebody who isn't tied to somebody can't sign up at this point. In the future, you will be able to.
So what is the link to send out to somebody and for them to download the app with my link attached to it?
Not available yet.
Right, thought so. When's that coming out? Are we talking weeks or months?
Weeks.
Weeks. Mm-hmm. For both the Apple and Android.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds good.
Cool.
Okay, guys, that's it in the call today. That's been 1 hour and 40 minutes, well overdue. So thanks all the time. It's been very productive, and we're going to do it all again next Thursday, same time, and keep this going. So try and bring as many people as you can, guys, onto this call. It's really good, great education, and you know, we're just here to help you, not just me and Patrick. We got loads of guys within the business as well. You know, Andy, Mobster, and Nick Call. So we hope to get them on the call at some point. And they've got an amount of information as well. You know, they're gonna blow your mind as well. So I've heard those two in action. You know. So
they're
okay, Patrick. So thanks a lot. And this has been recorded, and I'm gonna add this onto my channel, my Vizionary Capricoin channel. I've already got about 6 or 7 videos there already, so I'm going to be building up a collection of these Hangouts on a weekly basis.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks, Patrick, and same time next week then.
Yep, sounds good. I'll be here. Thanks again.
Okay,
and
then.
Else, you have a great one. Oh, there was one last question. You were speaking about Gary Connor. Yeah, we are speaking about Gary Connor. He will. We'll try to get.
Yeah, what I was saying about Gary Connor, he has responded to my email. He's very keen, and I'm hoping he will come on this call, hopefully next Thursday. We never know, but I actually emailed him today, and he's responded quite quickly. So,
cool.
yeah, we could well have Gary Connor on.
I'll reach out to him, too, and see if he's on next week's call.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, then. Cheers, Patrick. Cheers, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.